And we're live. We're back with another episode of Fluent Finance with Mercury-Square. This is going to be like a little miniature episode, right? Not this super long size. We're just going to be reviewing some of our positions today. So, educational purposes only. Again, disclaimer: all investing involves risk. So, just with that out the way, here we are.
Right. And so we'll start with I think we had quite the quite the week with the market, and usually Mark and I start by looking at how the indexes were doing. So I believe Friday was a little rough, for the indexes. We gave back a lot of gains, but today looked a lot better. So looking at the Nasdaq, let's look at it on the daily. I think the last few days were a little rough, but today was a nice little bounce back. On the daily, the Nasdaq is still trending above the 50. It's below the 10, which is fine. On the weekly, it looks all right. And we'll look at and S&P is very similar. Let's look at the Dow. The Dow is kind of the laggard of the group. It's trending below the 10-day moving average. So this is something to kind of watch for. And when we're looking at the market outlook on IBD, the current outlook is still the market is in a confirmed uptrend. We have 2 distribution days on the Nasdaq, 5 on the S&P 500. So the S&P is definitely the weaker of the two, but the Dow still looks fairly weak as well. We had a good rebound today, so market's still in a confirmed uptrend. You may see some of the names kind of give back a lot of profits, but we're just going to look at all of our names individually. Mark and I were talking about maybe moving to cash during the holiday period.
Yeah.
And kind of closing out some of our positions that we may be up to, and maybe leaving some of them that we like for the longer term. And if we do kind of hit our stop loss, or and we have to cut it loose, we will. But we'll look at them each individually, and we'll kind of make that decision. So let's start with IIPR
recently. So it probably could be a good idea to go to cash, because we had last week, that was Thanksgiving, so we just saw a lot of chops. So we'll have to see.
Right. And most of the times I was telling Mark, just like the week before Thanksgiving, I was like, hey, maybe we should slowly start moving to cash on some of our positions, because the holidays are choppy usually. A lot of the big funds start taking profits, and you definitely start seeing that. And it all depends on the year, but most of the time, the holiday season, there's a lot of selling going on because people aren't in the office. Positions that have been open for a while, funds are starting to take profit on. So IIPR, Mark, what do you think about this? Should we kind of stay in this? Should we cut it? I think we're right about even on IIPR, and depending on how the market, you're definitely losing some volume.
I think we're up on it a little bit, but if we look at the weekly, the chart doesn't look that bad in the weekly. But right. we look at the fundamentals, like accumulation distribution rating is
let's look at it. Right.
Or almost it's a C
minus, which is
up down volume ratio. It's not bad, but it's not really hitting our threshold anymore.
Correct.
Earnings
fund ownership is also going down. I think it's
people are out of REITs right now.
Right. And if we like it for the longer term, and I think right now, just because of the market conditions, I just think it's better to start slowly moving into cash. I don't want to have a bad Christmas. I don't think anyone does. So I think maybe we'll probably look into closing this one out and slowly moving into cash. Let's look at our next position. Aries, right? So we're down on Aries, and I think this last week was a fairly bad week for Aries. It kind of bounced off of this 50 on the daily.
Right. Yeah, if we look at how it reacts to the 50, typically it always rebounds really strong. The past couple times it has, past 3 times it got near the 50, it's kind of rebounded really strong on the
Correct.
daily. So I mean the Aries, well, you like Aries fundamentally? What do you think?
I do like Aries fundamentally. I think that and Aries is a good position. I think we can get back into it, but I'm just I just, and like as we talked about, I think
Mhm.
our major consensus was to really only keep the real winners, and maybe only be in 1 or 2 names. But I would like to cut majority of the stake in Aries, at least 80% of our position in Aries, and then kind of keep that 20% to see how it's acting,
Yeah.
and eventually get out of it, because we are down 4 to 5% on it. So we haven't really hit our full stop loss on it yet, but I think it's a good time to start cutting back. I still don't like the name, and I would like to re-enter into the name, but just around this time, it's I think it's better to just really only stick to the real strong stuff that we like. So I think we'll probably cut a lot loose here.